And next thing you know, someone comes running at me.
Yeah.
He goes like, bro, get inside the fucking building. And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? So I just follow him.
Welcome back to Careful Boys. Today we are talking about something that we tried to share with our bitches, but that they didn't care about. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Damn.
Do I?
I feel like that happens to me a lot, but I can't remember.
Right?
Which ones.
It's like,
It's always really boring stories because
I'm kind of excited, you know?
I'm the king of telling boring stories. That's what I feel like my strengths are. So when I tell aspects of my day to Tiff, and she just goes, "Oh, cool," I go,
So to you, the cool is
dude.
like, go f yourself.
"Yeah," but it's my own stuff.
What?
She's like, "Oh, okay." What else do I expect her to say? You know?
Yeah.
Does she like know what you're talking about when you speak in jujitsu?
I don't really speak in jiu-jitsu with her. Nah.
You don't talk about jiu-jitsu at all?
You don't talk about that? You don't go.
I
Like,
tell her stuff about the gym, like if there's drama or like work stuff, or like, man, I feel like.
but you're not like, oh man, today I nailed that move. I was trying to.
No, never. That's crazy. Like super technical aspects.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no.
No, I don't.
Like the name of the move or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
You never autism out in front of her and then like act like.
I am watching instructionals a lot. You know, that's about it. But I'm not like telling her like, babe, check this out. Isn't that cool?
Oh.
You guys never have those autism moments where you just go off on like a fucking diatribe while your like wife just sits there and is like, that's tight.
That happened to me a lot with. I think because like I'd locked myself for like 3 months when I was making that Final Fantasy hack, and then after I was done. Like I would try to tell Smack about it every now and then, and every time I start, I just see her brain just shut off.
I think I don't tell her for that reason.
Yeah, so then I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll make a video about it. I'll tag you.
You're sparing her
Yeah, because that must be so boring to have to listen to.
But have you ever had them egg you on to like be like, yeah, tell me more, and then you get bored saying it out loud.
Yeah.
And you're like, why am I can't even process.
If I have to
it.
tell a story 4 times in a row to different people and like within the same time frame, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell it anymore.
I try to spare her things like that.
Yeah, because I feel like anytime I open my mouth about anything like sport related like that, it's just not fun.
I know. This is what gave me the idea because I was telling Nikki about the Lakers game last night and she couldn't even give a
Yeah.
You know, it's cool though. I was like, I was watching the Lakers game with Tiff last night. And I was like, babe, look, let's watch the 4th quarter. It's exciting. And she's like, oh, cool, wow. Like she gets excited.
Wow, what a big boy.
Wow, you saw that shot he made?
I feel like the easiest thing to relate with that is when you wake up for a very vivid dream and you're trying to tell your girl about it, and in your mind it's so interesting.
Yeah.
Because you still see it.
Yeah.
But to them they're like, holy fuck, can this be done? Like it's so long.
I don't care about your dream.
No, nobody
I don't
cares.
care about dreams either.
Nobody
Get
cares.
the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah.
Tired of your dreams.
Dreams are fucking awesome.
Because half the time someone tells you
Only
about
to
a
the
dream-
person.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
Yeah.
but unless the
Because
dreams
they're
are
processing
interesting.
it out loud.
Exactly.
And they're like trying to figure out what they
Talk
saw.
about like right when you wake up, it's so interesting to you,
Yeah.
but it's like truly it's the most boring thing to have to.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about somebody eating a candy cane in their dream, but omens. That's just interesting.
There's no story structure often though.
Yeah, but this dream's gonna interest all y'all.
Why?
One that I had.
Oh, tell us.
What happened?
Here we go. If it's boring, just say boring right away. Nick, what are you doing with that? Put
I'm
it
just
away.
looking at yours
Put it
there.
away. That's yours? Cool.
Yeah, those are mine. Those are mine.
Check it out, man. I'm walking downtown LA. It's already like a weird vibe, right? Because I used to have like sleep paralysis all the time.
Me too, bro.
It was crazy, but check it out. I know it's already getting boring. Hold on. And next thing you know, someone comes running at me.
Yeah.
He goes like, bro, get inside the fucking building. And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? So I just follow him because it's only me and him.
Yeah.
Hold on. Next thing you know,
We're hooked, bro.
next thing you know, all you hear is a trumpet.
Ba-da-da, ba-da-da.
And you're just like, what the fuck? And then, bro, it's dinosaurs. listen, it's
Bro, it's dinosaur.
Bro, it's flying. So immediately I'm just like, yo, I gotta go back home, grab my gear. This is the moment we all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Just invaders.
The moment we all been waiting for.
I was like, holy fuck. And then the guy I was fucking following inside the apartment disappears. And I'm just like, oh hell no, man. I gotta go in this apartment by myself. Somehow made it to the fucking top of the roof of the building, and next thing you know, I'm outside, and then you just see bunch of fucking T-Rexes flying, and I'm like,
Okay.
Dude, this is crazy. And next thing you know, these T-Rexes are fucking painting with their brushes.
Graffiti artists?
Bro, no, they're just
What are they painting?
They're painting pathways to their destinations. So they
Wait,
can walk on
I have a
it.
question. How? Like with their small arms or the tail?
No, look, listen.
Little paintbrushes?
Listen,
Little ones?
listen, like,
So small strokes.
They got paint rollers?
no, it's
Yeah.
it's crazy. And they said if the dinosaur hits you with the paint, you fucking disintegrate. And I was like, what? And then you see T-Rexes and then fucking painting everyone, and I'm just like,
With their barf?
with their barf.
If it's a Netflix show, I'd be exit, and I'd be looking for another show right now.
I would too.
That's the trailer?
That is pretty wild.
Steve,
But there's a storyline, and it progresses.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's a good dream, though. That's a good setup.
dude, it was crazy to be in that.
That does sound really wild.
And then you got the wind flying in your hair, and you got fucking T-Rexes shitting out paint. You're just like, this is insane.
Did you explain this to Sasha?
Yeah, I did. And she goes, did you walk the dog? I'm like, fuck, all right, I'll walk the dog.
Did you walk the dog?
Did you do your chores?
Just not one. She's just like, oh, interesting.
She's like,
did you
wow,
walk the
that's
dog?
crazy.
Expert subject changer.
Nikki always tells me the dreams. I'm not a big fan of hearing about the dreams, but
Yeah.
she did tell me one that was pretty funny. I told you yesterday, where
Oh yeah.
she loves like Smack, right? So
Yeah.
Smack's like, she thinks Smack's really cool and stuff. And so she had a dream that she met Smack for the first time, and Smack sprayed her with a can of Raid. She's a bug.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's pretty
so
good.
funny.
And then she said she started giving presents to everybody else.
And skipping her.
Yeah, it skipped her, and she sprayed her with Raid.
That's so
That's
funny.
a
That must mean something.
quick and clean. Yeah, it means she doesn't want to get rejection.
What's the omen there?
I don't want Smack to reject
The
me.
omen is Smack isn't gonna like her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's cute,
It's really cute.
Those are deep ass dreams.
right?
Deep ass
But
dreams.
simple. Right? In and out.
In and
I
out.
like those.
You gotta set the stage for
Yeah.
yours.
When there's too many and thens.
Then yeah.
But I liked his. Because it actually progressed.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like heightened.
It resolved itself.
Yeah.
We know who the enemies are immediately.
Very
T-Rexes.
Very clear.
And then at the end there was a motive. If you get touched, there was a game. Like if you get touched, you disappear.
We've been all been
Yeah.
waiting to film
Yep.
these dinosaurs flying around and stuff.
And there's a cliffhanger. What happened to the other dude? Was he partly responsible?
Yeah.
Oh, who
It
knows?
just disappeared. Just
Pick it up for season 2 and let's see.
Yeah, we'll pick it up.
Yeah, we're
And at least we know there's a game behind it. So now from there, it's like if you get touched by the paint, you die. So you gotta, now there's stakes. You can't die. You can't get the T-Rex barf on you.
Exactly.
right, and you're in downtown. So how fucking close is your house? WeHo is probably like 25 minutes, no traffic, because there's nobody around. So I was trying to figure out how the fuck do you get back home?
To get all your gear.
To grab my gear and start fucking smoking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can they die from bullets?
That's what I was
Probably
thinking.
not, but you never know until you try.
Dude, during COVID, how sick was traffic?
That was,
I think about it all the time. I think when I'm driving and I'm like, man, I just remember 2020 traffic.
dude, that was. What if California really had no traffic like that?
Oh, big
It would be incredible.
Honestly, that's how when I was driving. I hate to be another person saying this now, but when I was driving through Vegas and all those suburbs and those other freeways,
It was jam-packed,
like
huh?
I was in an alien world.
Yeah, no traffic.
That's how I feel when I'm in Cleveland. When I'm driving in Cleveland, I'm like, look at these roads.
Just the fact that we were
all
able
this
to.
land.
You can get anywhere in Vegas in 20
Because I
minutes.
still had that LA planning thing where I'm like, okay, well, how many houses do we have to see? We have to plot it in order, and maybe we won't get them all, and we finished like half of the time.
That's
Already
ridiculous.
done. I was like, damn, that was easy.
Yeah, but Vegas, the 20-minute is a real 20-minute drive. You know what I mean? Compared to LA, where it's just
20
Stop,
minutes,
start.
20-minute
it
gridlock.
could be 15, it could be 19, it could be 20.
It's never 20, brother. If it's 20, it's 45.
But Vegas, no matter how fast you go, it's 20 for a long time, and you're like, come on, bro.
That's true. I hear
Where's the 18 at? This is crazy.
I can't get 18?
I can't get it.
I feel like you're probably always talking to Hannah about something random.
For dreams?
Just no, in general.
Just something that you care about.
Because you
that
have
she's
so
like,
much
I don't
random
know.
stuff that you think about and know about. Like, you don't just start telling her, it's like,
We both do that to each other though. And I think we both like zone out. But then at the same time, we both have these autism-ass moments where we go off on these like long-ass rants about shit we're really into. But we both give each other that. But there's once in a while, I just gotta be like, I can't hear anything today. Anything. I just have to drive. And she'll be like, all right.
That's cool.
That's funny.
it's nice to set that.
Turns up the music.
I
Yeah.
can't do music.
I just need
Sometimes.
silence. Cause like I'm so like tired, you know.
And I would say sometimes it's 95% of the time.
Oh, whoa.
Really? You don't
That's a
do
big
music?
I
sometimes.
just don't do music in the
How
car.
about podcasts?
Yeah, that's my shit.
Or like, yeah.
I like to hear people talking about something.
Yeah.
I like to like learn about something or
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean?
Otherwise, you feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. And Nikki's like, let's play the Beatles, and I'm like, I want to learn something.
You know what is different though is when Hannah was like, if you're really into something, I like to just hear people really into something, and then I get into it too.
Me too.
So
I
then,
can hear this asshole talk about Final Fantasy. I can give a fuck.
and then it makes me want to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legit.
So she doesn't block something out and be like, boring, fuck you, you know, because like that does happen.
When I was a kid, my neighbor of mine was the hugest nerd ever, and he loved Final Fantasy, and he wanted to be mages for Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
And I ditched on it in the last minute. I was like, this is too gay, dude. I can't.
This is social suicide.
So he showed up looking like a mage.
He went and
yeah.
got sticks from the woods or whatever to make stabs or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we spray painted them and shit like that. We sanded them down and spray painted them. And then
Stabs?
And then like by the time I went home, I was like, this is too gay. I can't do this.
Even in Final Fantasy,
was the spray paint that
is
got
a
you.
strange choice to want to be the
Well, yeah,
mage.
we were gonna be red mages and black mages.
Yeah, that's a very strange choice.
Yeah.
Why?
Because nobody likes mages, dude. Not a single person.
Yeah, everybody wants to be a fighter.
I mean, like, why did you choose that?
Yeah.
He wanted to be mages.
So he wanted to be.
I was gonna ride, but then I couldn't ride. It was too gay.
Sounds like you guys
What
were.
was your excuse?
He got pissed.
He's trying
I
to
was like,
groom
dude, I
you.
gotta be a Ninja Turtle. This sucks too bad.
Oh, you guys wanted to be Ninja Turtles?
7.
Pretty on brand.
But I was like, this sucks way too bad, dude.
I gotta be a Ninja Turtle.
But I was dead serious
Yeah.
about it. I was like,
Was he
I remember,
sad?
like, sitting in my bed, just looking at the ceiling, being like, I can't do this shit. It's too gay.
The whole time, Steve's like, but why mages? Why a mage?
There's so many like classes.
yeah, there's so many.
Other characters.
The only thing that'd be worse is being a healer. So at least you didn't know
That's,
that.
that's basically a type of mage.
Yeah, it's a type of mage.
Yeah. Maybe because it's the easiest to make. Like you're just in a robe.
Yeah, you're just covered in cloth, really. And you
Maybe
got
that's
a
the only
stick.
one he could visualize being done.
Pretty gay.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Pretty gay.
Stick. Yeah, that's easy.
Pull this off.
That's true, because at that age, I don't know any boy that doesn't want to have an opportunity to wield a sword.
Yeah, you want to be a knight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But stabs, nobody cares about stabs.
Lightsabers,
Just a
baby.
stick, you know? Everybody was ninja like 5 years in a row.
Ninja for sure.
Oh, dude.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Ninja.
I was Raphael, brother. Sarcastic as hell, homie.
Really?
Right in my wheelhouse.
Well, Leonardo's lame.
Yeah, but he's the leader. A lot of people just want to be the leader.
Nah, he's lame as shit.
He's a square.
He's the buzzkill.
He's like telling the boys to splinter.
telling on the boy.
He was.
I liked Michelangelo because he was so like dumb.
He was
he's
dope.
a
But he's the most lovable one.
He was
He's
great.
the favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was great.
But I just like Leonardo because of the swords.
I like how throughout all the iterations they never changed those either. All the archetypes for them. They
That's
never
true.
they never made one of them the asshole instead of the
But I remember when I was a kid, I watched the first Ninja Turtle movie, which is goes hard.
That's the hardest.
It's a great movie.
It's the hardest.
But
yeah.
Raphael was my favorite, and then he's not even half the movie
Oh yeah.
because he
he's
gets
in-
captured and shit, and I was so bummed.
Do you guys get into hobbies like with your partner? Like, do you guys ever combine forces and get into like go down a rabbit hole for something together?
Yeah.
Like you have your own hobbies, right? That you're just like, you know, I have so much more fun doing this with someone else. But then you don't like do it with them. But what's the combined one?
Anything conspiracy stuff we do together and we have a blast. Like we watched this documentary called Paul McCartney Really Is Dead like 5 years ago, and we continuously go back to that one because it's hilarious.
You like rewatch it
Like about how Paul McCartney died in like
and
the
he body swapped or whatever.
Yeah, body swapped and shit
What?
like
I
that.
didn't
Oh,
know
it's
about
it's a
that.
hilarious one. Well, because the way the guy did it, he shot it with like got some corny ass fucking actor to pretend to be George Harrison, and he's like really corny Cockney accent. But basically, they play like this thing like it's a tape. Of like, hello, I'm George Harrison. I'm remembering the time I've lost my buddy Paul. It's
fucking good.
Dude, it's corny like that. It's rough. But they basically say he got decapitated driving home one night after him and John got in a fight because John's like, you're gay, and he's like, I'm not fucking gay, fuck you. And then he gets in the car, drives, gets decapitated, and then the police are like, we can't tell the British youth that Paul McCartney died or everyone's gonna KMS. So then they hired a lookalike. They had like a lookalike competition at the time, which is true. So they take a little couple things that actually happened at the time, and they make it all fit.
Wow, fit a narrative.
That is pretty entertaining.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
They're like the lookalike competition was because we needed a clone.
Did another poll. So good. So anything Shinty conspiracy, man.
Paul McCartney really died with.
Yeah, in 1965.
We should watch the doc. It's on Netflix.
And by the way, he's still a genius apparently because he did he did fucking Live and Let Die and all this sick shit after. So he's a genius, and then they hired a body double as a genius.
Yeah, so that guy's even more of a Paul.
He's striking out, dude.
Oh, you know what? Something
he
we
did
got
yesterday.
into recently was we started watching. We noticed that the original Price is Right episodes were like on Amazon. The actual Bob Barker ones.
Oh, what?
Yeah, they started putting them on there, so we started watching them, and then we got into that. What is it? That one? It's not really a conspiracy, but you know, have you ever seen The Perfect Bid? That documentary about the guy who. Whoa! So like, there's a thing where it's a story about this guy who basically studied the prices right to the point where he knew the prices of everything.
Oh my god.
Because he was able to figure out that Price is Right always uses the same sponsored products, and they reused them.
Wow.
So he made a chart of everything that they were using. This is back in
Like memorized it. So that
memorized it, and he programmed a video game for himself to quiz himself on the.
Whoa.
So he's in the background of all of these episodes, and they have the footage. Whenever they ask what the price is, he's in the back yelling it, and it's exactly right. And
They never picked this guy.
They did. They eventually.
But he only won $2,000.
But the documentary is amazing. He was there for 38
That's a lot
shows.
of work.
It's a lot of work for $2,000.
Yeah, and it's this guy that his name was Theodore, and then he was such a running character there that people would look to him for the price when they were bidding, and when you see people look back, they're looking directly at him, and he's there, and he's telling them.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's the sickest documentary.
Sick.
And he ends up going on like.
He finally gets his chance.
Yeah, he gets on in the 80s and stuff, but it's an awesome, like, you guys see it.
How much does he win?
The perfect bid.
You'll see, it's a tragic bad ending.
Oh.
My favorite.
All that work. So he helps everybody else, and then
It's a bad ending. Yeah.
He wins and dies.
No, he's not dead.
Oh, he's still alive.
and dies.
Even better.
He himself throughout the whole thing, great dude.
Do they disqualify him or some
just
shit?
a math teacher.
He tripped on the way up.
It's worse.
Oh, no.
You'll hate what happens.
Is Bob Barker involved?
Bob Barker's the host throughout the whole thing, but even when Drew Carey became the host,
Yeah.
Drew Carey even knew about that guy.
Oh wow.
Can you just tell me?
He's like
I'm
a
not gonna watch
legend.
it.
No one's gonna see it. All right,
I'll watch it, but
I'll watch it at some point in my life.
And we'll probably forget what you said.
Skip it if you want to watch this. But so what happens is he gets on the show once, right? He like perfect bids all of his stuff, but then when he gets to the wheel thing, some other guy gets a higher amount, so he's off the showcase. So then the rule back then in the 80s is that if you're on, you can't come back on ever again. They changed that rule like later in the 2000s once Drew Carey's on. They said you have to wait 10 years, so he's eligible again to go back on. He doesn't get on, but instead this guy that he was hanging out with at the taping gets on. And that guy knows, him and his wife know that this guy Theodore knows all the prices, so they keep looking to him. The guy ends up getting all the way to showcase. Theodore tells his wife how much the showcase is. The wife tells the guy, for the first time in Price is Right history, he guesses the showcase price to the dollar.
Oh,
Exact dollar. And when you do that, you win both showcases. You win the opponent's showcase. So all the prizes went to that guy. They asked the guy, like they had to stop the show. They weren't sure if they would even air it because they're like, what's in the rule book? That looks like someone cheated. They were convinced that someone had leaked the amount. They determined it was fine. He ends up winning the showcase. They do an interview to the guy. How did you know the price? He says, all you got to do is memorize and check and you just have to study. He took that guy's whole credit.
Oh my god.
Oh, that hurt.
And he said that he thought of it himself.
Oh, what a legend.
Yeah, but now he gets a documentary about him.
And he didn't even split the money. He
But
just
it
ran
still
with it.
sucked.
Money never saw him, never talked.
What a dickhead.
That's incredible, dude. What
Yeah.
a mean guy.
Yeah, and the whole documentary is really like following this dude's story, and everyone knows that happened.
Yo, I'm gonna just watch a documentary so I can start fucking with this guy. I'm gonna message him like, you're a fucking piece of shit. Give him some fucking money, you bitch.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, because this guy devoted his life to like knowing every.
And he gave you the answers for free.
And he gave it to him for nothing.
Give him something.
I don't know, like a boat, a car, like all those things, and then you get the other guy's stuff too, which are like probably
Sometimes
trips.
you only win like a kitchen table.
the kitchen.
I was thinking about that. Yeah.
He just didn't calculate the fact that the wheel is a chance. So that's just
Right. Yeah, it's crazy because that's a rabbit hole we got into recently because we were like, how did we end up here watching this documentary?
He should have picked Jeopardy.
Have you guys watched the?
Because Jeopardy, you can win cash.
Yeah.
You don't have to sell some boat that you get. Like, I gotta sell this boat.
But the footage, if you guys watch it, the coolest part is the footage that proves how many times he was there helping people with the price throughout the 80s. Like old ass footage of this same dude that's in the same area.
Don't they film it every day, like Monday through Friday?
They film it pretty often, but he lived in Sacramento or something, so he was coming down all the
Whoa.
Yeah, it's such a.
And they allowed him to just be in the audience all the time?
They did, but then they had a weird feeling because they just didn't think that someone could possibly know all those prizes.
They're just like, what a lucky guy.
Is like he was a math teacher, like just a good guy. He had a homework help local access TV show where you could call in. Kids could call in and ask for homework help. Like he's such a good dude. You know what I mean?
Somebody who deserves it.
Yeah.
Good people just can't win, man.
No, you can't. No.
Well, that's why they say nice guys.
Comeback that takes everything and goes, I made it up.
I'm really smart.
Yeah, and he didn't tell everybody that this guy stole it from him. The guy did an interview.
Wow.
And that guy was the one saying that he thought of it himself, but then the person that did the documentary was like, wait, then what about this guy? So they put the pieces together.
Did you try telling Smack the story? And she's like, yeah, okay, sweetie.
No, we saw it together. That was our joint rabbit hole. But I would hate having to tell her that whole
You guys see
thing.
the Jerry Springer documentary?
No, but I want to
yeah, I
watch.
wanna-
Watch that one.
Is it good?
It's hilarious.
Oh, dude,
It's a good time.
that's ultimate trash.
Nice guys finish last.
Thanks,
That's
Subin.
where it came from, man.
I don't think that's true. Hey, I don't think that's true.
Nice guys finish last.